What's up, y'all? Welcome into the LA Sports Brotherhood. It's me, Ryan, here with my brother Matthew. And if you've seen our last video, you saw us talk about LeBron and him opting out for potentially changing the offseason. But what preceded those events, literally 12 hours before, was D'Angelo Russell officially deciding to opt into his contract, his player option to be here, at least the way he puts it, to be here with the Lakers for the next season. So before I even get into anything, I want to establish I love D'Lo. He was my favorite of the young Lakers. I was legitimately sick when he was traded, and he came back, and I was so happy. And it's kind of run its course. I still love him, and if he's on the team to start the year, I will not be upset. But the Lakers do seem to be going in a different direction. They immediately post or leaked or something happened to where one of the athletic guys, I think it was Buha, was talking about how they're going to be aggressive in the D'Angelo Russell trade market. So, with that, Matt, I want to give you the option to answer and then go wherever you want. Do you think he needs to be traded for this team to be good, like to start the year, or what are you feeling with him opting in?
I don't think he needs to. Like, if he is opening day starting point guard, it isn't the season's over. It's not that level,
Mm-hmm.
but I do think I would prefer some change because if you lose 2 years in a row to the same team, there's got to be some change. So I would prefer to have an upgrade, but you said need it like he doesn't need to be off the team in my opinion. Maybe it's a little biased because I'm there with you. He's I loved him. Vividly remember, never forget when I saw that trade happen and our season turned around. But I mean, he averaged 18 a game, shot 40% from three. He was legit an incredible basketball player last
Yeah,
year. It's just I don't think his skill set isn't a postseason player, and we saw it 2 years in a row. So
yeah,
I would prefer for a successful trade. Like it with this, the what excites me is that at the very least, you're not left without a starting point guard.
yeah,
Because if he would have opted out and just went to the Magic or something, we would have been left without a point guard. So
yeah,
a trade happens, I'm good. He stays, I'm good. To be honest, either way, I'm happy.
yeah. Genuinely a massive boost to the potential for the offseason. But like we said, it does seem that they're going to at least shop him very aggressively because despite what people fans around the league will say, oh, D'Lo, no one wants him. An 18-year-old starting caliber point, or not 18-year-old, $18 million a year expiring contract that is a starting caliber point guard is a genuinely great asset in trades. Mostly the contract, but the fact that he's a competent player too is really helpful. So, with that being said, this is a combination of lists, or as a list with a combination of names that have been rumored to be like have Laker interest, or people that are rumored to be on the block and have similar contracts. So we have Cam Johnson from the Nets, DeAndre Hunter from the Hawks, Robert Williams, the center from the Blazers, Colin Sexton / Walker Kessler, because they would probably be a combo deal, Jusuf Nurkic, and I put in heavy quotes Laurie Marketed because they said he's going to trade him, but he's going to be a Jazz when this season starts. So, of those names and anyone else you might want to throw in, is there anything that excites you? Actually, excuse me. Sorry. Before we get into that, do you have a need that they need to address via trade position wise, or is it like just get whoever you can, like the best player you can get?
I think that you can't start the season with any holes. What scares me about those names is you trade D'Angelo Russell for Williams or DeAndre Hunter, who I really like DeAndre Hunter. I love him as a Laker. Then who's your starting point guard? Is it Game
Mm-hmm.
Vincent, who fans hated even more than D'Lo?
Yeah.
That's the one thing that scares me. So for my needs, you asked the needs. I think you need a starting point guard, a legit starting point guard. You can't have Reeves or Vincent or Connect because LeBron and say, oh, LeBron will be a point guard. LeBron's gonna be 40. It's not 2020 again. You need to start the season with a starting point guard. You need to have some way upgraded in terms of two-way talent depth on the wing. Like you need more guys that can shoot and defend, and you need a backup center. Those are my three things: a starting point guard, wing, and a backup center.
Yeah.
So I don't think any none of those names, fit a starting point guard. So if we trade D'Lo for DeAndre Hunter, it's just who's the starting point guard?
Yeah, that's the biggest question. I it I think ironically a D'Lo trade, because I don't think there's going to be point guard for point guard. A D'Lo
Yeah,
trade is relies heavily on Austin Reeves. Because if you think he could take even 50% of ball handling duties like initiation and actually like distributing, then I feel much more comfortable running a Vincent Reeves. Say we trade for Cam Johnson at the three, even though that's not a great fit because he's not a real three defender, or DeAndre Hunter at the three, LeBron AD. You could split initiator duties between Vincent, Reeves, Braun, and AD because it sounds like they're going to do some of that too. And frankly, that sounds pretty good to me. I will
yeah.
say, yeah, go ahead.
I think a big factor in this is actually JJ Redick and the staff.
Mm-hmm.
What offense does he feel comfortable running? All the reports have come out that he's been thinking about this. They said, oh, he already started drawing stuff up for Connect. Who does he want as a point guard? What offense does he see running?
Yeah,
Because Reeves has closed playoff games for us. He closed the very first one he's ever played in for the Memphis. I love Austin
yeah,
Reeves, obviously. So if he can take a huge step up and be the primary, ball handler, Vincent can handle some, LeBron can handle some, and then because of that, you're able to upgrade defense, like D'Lo out. Because to be honest, I'm kind of tired of the Reeves D'Lo, backcourt on the
yeah,
defensive end. So if you can, Vincent can be a ball pass, and you get a legit wing that will like really defend, like Hunter or someone like that. That's not like the lineup you just said to me. If Vincent plays well, that's a great lineup, and I'd be happy with it. So I think the staff is really important in this in the offensive scheme.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Especially because if it's like a really motion driven offense and you don't even really need a
Yeah,
true Rajon Rondo style like point guard. Because even then, that's not what D'Lo was. D'Lo has great
yeah,
vision and has a really wide pass arsenal, so you can make a bunch of passes. Like we've seen some really nice ones, but he wasn't a point people. Oh, you go here, you go. Like he's not doing that. So I think the playmaking that we need to make up with D'Lo is if you're getting someone that can't shoot. Let me start that whole sentence over. I think people, including myself and us, honestly, are worried about what we lose playmaking wise with D'Lo, in the sense that it feels like when he gets the ball, something good can happen. It's not so much, hey, let's run this pick and roll, whatever, or we got to do this 5 times and you're going to make 3 reads. It's not really what D'Lo was doing. But D'Lo accounted for a lot of points every night, especially when LeBron was out and he was doing more of like this stuff. So I think the replacement needs to be a high volume shooter, 3 point shooter specifically, or if there's some like straight up like creator score like DeMar DeRozan, like we talked about before, I would be fine with that trade off because the scoring and playmaking overall is better. Playmaking to me doesn't have to be like we said, Rajon Rondo pointing people out like Prime Rondo or whatever. It just needs to be able to generate points. DeMar DeRozan generates points at a similar rate, if not better, than D'Angelo Russell, in a different way as well. So that's what I think. That's the main thing. What I won't want, honestly, is for them to trade for a center. I don't want
yeah.
any trade assets spent on the center unless you can get DeAndre Ayton, in which case I don't know if I would be happy about that, but Aiden's a legitimately very good player, so I guess you wouldn't have to it would be hard to pass up on the talent, but I don't want there's no reason to play LeBron at the 3. I don't want a starting caliber center brought in. If Jonas comes, it's because he's going to play 15 to 18 minutes a night backing AD up. That is my one caveat. If they trade for a center, like oh my god, I saw Laker fans talking about trading D'Lo for Clint Capella, and I almost lost my mind. I cannot have that. Sorry, but you could take it.
Yeah, because you lose the skill, you lose points if you do that. I think we're underestimating that. I think what you said is perfect. So for where I'm at, I think you need to either upgrade a scorer, so like D'Lo, upgrade it with DeMar DeRozan, or you upgrade as or stay the same or upgrade as a shooter and defender. So you replace him in the starting lineup. If it is a wing that can defend and shoot, I'm happy.
Yeah.
If it is a great scorer like DeMar DeRozan, then I'm happy because what D'Lo has done for us the past two regular seasons is absolutely huge. And if you just look at the playoffs and you say, well, we don't really need him. Maybe Clint will help us guard Jokic. You're gonna be much worse in the regular season.
Yeah.
So you need something that can make up for the offense that he provided. If it's a 3-and-D wing where Reeves takes a step up, and maybe the bench is a little deeper, maybe Connect or someone, those guys score more. Vincent takes a step up. As a whole, you won't fill the hole of D'Lo, and you're more equipped for the playoffs. Then I think that's good.
Yeah. Yeah. Like just as an example, Cam Johnson, the last 3 years, 6 3-point attempts a game, good volume, very good volume for a not major guy, 40% from three. DeAndre Hunter, let me get these same sets up. Not as prolific, but the last 3 seasons, only 4 attempts, which is lower volume, truthfully, but 37% from three. And he averaged 15 points a game the last 2 years as a third option. So these guys changed the makeup of the team. And I think, like you were saying, we're tired of the Reeves D'Lo backcourt in that I think we've seen the ceiling. A very frustrating team that should have been better but still made the Western Conference Finals. I think that's the ceiling for that type of backcourt. We just need to change the look up. And getting someone that is 6'8", 6'9", that could defend on the wing and shoot 40% from three and be elite in the corners, which is both of them do, that would be perfect. Okay, of Hunter versus Cam Johnson, who like if you can get both for the same cost, who would you want?
Same cost. Is it Hunter? He's had some injury issues, hasn't he?
That is something. Cam Johnson though too,
I
he's
think,
missed like 20 games the
yeah,
last
that's
2 years.
true. Do you know who's I don't have the numbers in front of me. You know who's the higher 3-point percentage?
Johnson's higher and he shoots more, but he's less of a wing defender. He's
Yeah,
more
the
of a
thing
kind
is,
of
yeah,
four.
I was just gonna say I like Hunter more physically.
Yeah,
I think, and yeah, I think I'd lean Hunter, but it's pretty equal to me.
yeah. I think
One's a better
something.
shooter, one's more physical.
Yeah, something with Cam Johnson is the Nets are very well, seemingly, allegedly, because Josiah is kind of a moron, but they seem to be much more amenable to trading with the Lakers specifically for D'Lo. And now that Kyrie is not there, they won't have to be strong arming anybody. So D'Lo trade to the Nets, I think you would need less going on. But yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting conversation. The reality of it is D'Lo opted in, and the Lakers now all of a sudden the offseason can start. We're
Yeah.
like, it was so like I was genuinely nervous. I I didn't think D'Lo had a market, but I did think that D'Lo disliked the Laker front office enough to just opt out, especially with his agent from CAA that legitimately hates the Lakers. It was tough, but we now know the Lakers will either have the same starting point guard for the 2 seasons in a row for the first time in I cannot remember how long, which would be massive, and we would have continuity, and I think we'd get off to a really good start. Or we have the ability to upgrade at a position that we have not had a steady presence in terms, like meaning the second wing next to LeBron, and again in a very long time. So I think the foundation for this offseason is set. Now it's time to get into free agency, which will be our next video. So make sure you check that out. We'll be back very soon with a lot of free agent content, a lot of Laker offseason content. It's not going away. In fact, it's literally just starting and it's going to be chaos for a long time. So, with that being said, see you soon. Go Lakers.